This is Jill from Gilbert Spits of Bites, and I'm here to show you my latest action called Stroke It. And this actually started off, there's a couple of things with this. I wanted to make something where you can make stitches, to put into your scrapbook, or if you're just a scrapper, to use it in your layout. But the way to do this, and it's not too hard in Photoshop, is by using paths, and that you stroke that brush along the path. Unfortunately, in Elements that didn't work, so this was my chance to see if this capability did exist in Elements. It just wasn't exposed, and sure enough, it's in Elements. Anyway, let me show you what I've done. Okay, start off, I've given you a bunch of brushes. You can use just about any brush as long as it's got, you see, you want to space it out, okay? So, and then this one just makes it scattered. And then down here are the two stitch brushes. I also created some simple styles, and they're thread styles. This one here is just plain thread. This one's a drop shadow. This one is kind of inset, so it looks like it's been stitched on something thick and heavy. This is just the shadow, and this is just the shadow with the embed. Whatever. Okay, that's all included. Now, one of the things I found when I was doing my experimenting was that, even though you can't create paths and elements, I can create a file that has a path in it in Photoshop and save it out for others to use in Elements to stroke. And that's what I'm going to show you this first time, so you can see you get about 8 path files. And I can't remember which one I picked. Okay, let's go down here for Stroke It. And as you can see, there's the path file. Let's just pick that one. Okay, as you can see this preview here. And as you can see here, for preview purposes only. If I saved a file, I found this out, I didn't know it. If I saved the file without a preview, all you would get is it would just be a blank icon. It's very strange. No, it's not strange, but anyway, so you can just turn off that particular layer. Now I want to make sure I have a good brush. Okay, let's do some scatter. And what I'll do is I make a layer, and using the work path I will stroke it using the brush. But what I will do, as you can see here, stop, is I duplicated what I did into a new file. You don't want to save this original file. You just want to close it. So if you just follow through with the full action after saving this one here, it'll just close out the other one. So here we go. We're going to trim it, save it. Of course, you're probably going to want to do some more to it. And, replace my untitled one. Okay. I saved it and I closed it. I'm done. Now, what I'm telling you to do is to click continue if you are back to your file. The reason I put a stop in there is that if you started experimenting, you may not be back to your original file, and you may not want to close the file you're in. So make sure you're back to the original file and just click continue and it closes it. All right. I do recommend that you take the folder containing path files and make a duplicate and hide it so you don't accidentally save over something. Okay. Then I had one of my friends who is a Photoshop user testing this out, and she says, well, I can make my own paths. Well, yeah, you can't do it in Elements. See, this is supposed to be for both. But I realize there probably are some Photoshop users who want to make their own paths. So I've made this an opportunity here, an action, and it worked. As I said, PS users only. It will not work in Elements. So anyway, we start off, and I give you your blank thing here, canvas. I can't even think today. Now, this is where you start working on your path. I'm sorry. Allergies are hell. Okay, so you just can start drawing any which way you want. As you can see over here, I've got a work path. You probably know that anyway. So you just go and you select the work path, continue, and you stroke it and stop. Okay, so you see there you've got your scatter using that one. Now, to save it out, you can save it out manually. You can go down here and use save ping file, save PSD file. This is the way the subsequent actions work. Unlike the first one that does the save, you have to come down to here to ping or PSD to save things out. Okay. All right. So let's go over to elements. Okay. And what we're going to do is, similar to what you did with, the path tool, pin. There we go. That's what it's called. You can do a lasso. And you see right here, I have the lasso. It's the one that you don't want the magnetic one. You don't want any of the other ones. So what I'll do is very much like I did up above here, I create a canvas for you. And if anybody can tell me why this stupid thing looks like this, I would appreciate it, because when you scroll in, there's nothing there. See? It just wants to make me nuts. Anyway, so we want to make sure that we have selected the brush that we want to use. This is a stitch. Let's don't do that. Let's do stars. Well, you did stars, didn't we? Music. Okay. Notes. And you take the lasso tool here, and I'll just pick, it doesn't matter with the color, and you draw. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're using this lasso tool, and it's very hard to see, let me guess, it closes the loop. Now, you can erase things after the fact, but that's what it does. So then we go to stroke it. I do not make a new file. I keep it all in the same file. See, there you go. And again, when you want to save it out, you go to one of these last two here to save this out. Okay. Now, the real thing here. As I said, this kind of started off as for stitching. Everybody kind of I love adding stitches to my collections. And unfortunately, you can't really see that on here. So I give you a straight stitch and a cross stitch. And for this first one, I want to use the cross stitch. And what you do, again, like I set up the canvas, and you say stop. And it's there. And what you want to do, okay, yeah, I want to make sure where I'm at. You want to pick a shape. Yes, any shape. Let's go with butterflies. And I do need to change the color of the stitches. No, I had to accept it. Of the stitches so that you can see them. Okay, so then we go on to rasterize that little thing and to brush it. Now, like I've done in the ones up above there, I have made a separate file so you can get just the stitches, as you can see. Okay, it's might need some touching up, but it's not bad. But you can also come back over here and you can have your stitches from this. Kind of cool. So again, I don't do any saving up in that action. You have to come down here determine which way you want to save it. Is it PSD or is it a ping? So there's that. And close. Now I'm going to pick the straight stitch, and the last two are basically offsets. You want to, there's different way people sew. If you're a quilter, you'll understand. Okay, let's say that. Again, create my canvas, tell you to pick something. Let's see something that makes a little more. I'll go with that guy. Oh, that's good. Now I have the color of my stitches. I'm not paying attention. Okay, so let's switch it. We'll get black stitches. And now what it will do, this is when I'm getting ready to offset it. It comes up and it's going to make the stitches on the inside to the inside. You are able to change it or just keep the default and stop. And as you can see, once again, I have created something that's a second file, or you've got the file with the object and you see it's sewn. Okay, and the last one will do just the opposite. It'll go to the outside. Now cancel so you can see better. I'm going to start kind of like in the middle of this action here. Close this. Okay, now I've already make this is where you want to start if you're using something that's pre-existing. Just a couple stops down. Again, you get to choose what you want. Stop. And you can see that you've got two files. You've got this one here and it's stitched to the outside. So that's it. You go ahead and you save it using one of the savings here. So I hope that explains it all. If not, contact me and I will try to help you through it. Thank you for spending your day with me. Bye-bye.